Elwood Haynes invented the first car here in Kokomo, Indiana, which I think is great.
Everywhere you look, it's Haynes, Haynes International, Haynes Street.
Oh, I think the fact that they're changing the name of Kokomo to Haynesville is fantastic.
He really changed the way Americans get about. There were people who were working on automobiles before him, that's true. But he's the guy that actually made it an actual manufacturable, reproducible vehicle.
Since he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe that it's totally appropriate to rename the town.
There has been a lot of talk recently about changing the name of Kokomo to Haynesville. Kokomo, we've only been here for 160 years, and so we really haven't bought into this whole Kokomo thing.
I think it's a logical move. Elwood Haynes was one of the founding fathers of our city and contributed so much, with the automobile and his metals, stainless steel, stellite.
I mean, the present name is okay, but Haynesville kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Haynesville.
He was a philanthropist. He was a social activist in the community. He helped found the original YMCA, just had his fingers in all the good things that took place in our community in his day.
And Mr. Haynes' influence in the automotive industry was very clear in a number of areas, applying different metals to the construction of the automobiles. He was the first to introduce nickel into the construction of the engines. He used aluminum in some of his bodies, like the speedster behind me.
He was an extraordinary man. Lots of talents. Probably gave Kokomo its place in the automotive industry.
If it wasn't for Elwood Haynes, this town probably wouldn't be what it is right now.
He wasn't the very first, but you got to remember at that time period, there wasn't a lot of communications between cities at the time. Nobody really knew what each other was working on. So, within 6 months, you have two people that came out with cars that were ready to go, run. His was successful.
He contributed many other firsts. For example, the first tilt steering wheel, one of the first mufflers, one of the first carburetors. The important thing is that to note was that Mr. Haynes was one of the earlier inventors, and he sustained longevity producing automobiles into the 20s.
I mean, somebody that does something like that for our history should have a lot of stuff named after him, really.
We have a school, we have our annual 4th of July festival. Just his name is attached to so much in our community, and he is easily the most prominent figurehead in our city, and it's because of not just his ties to the automotive industry and his philanthropy, but just because of his civic engagement. Our recent polling shows about 98% of the people are in favor of this.
Kokomo has been Kokomo for a long time. It's due for a new name.
Elwood's legacy was one of good, honest living. In addition to all of his contributions through his innovations and his inventions. Honestly, I think Elwood Haynes' legacy is that of selfless contribution.
Everything he did was to solve a problem that he saw. The automobile is an example of that. He solved a problem because he had a long trip to get to Kokomo, so he saw a better way. He wanted to find a better way to do that.
The man is very important to us. I think we all owe a debt of gratitude for our modern world to Elwood Haynes.
He had a good grasp on some of the needs of society, and then he set out in a methodical fashion to solve those problems. That's just the way Elwood Haynes was. He was wired right.